We already talked about every East team's MVP, but the West is way more complicated. I mean, it looks like LeBron for the Lakers, right? But didn't they just add Anthony Davis and now lead the West? How valuable is that? It looks like James Harden on Houston. But have you seen what Russell Westbrook has done the last 2 months? This list was near impossible to put together, and I know you're gonna agree and disagree on some. So give me your biggest agreement or disagreement, and I will pin the best argument to the top of the comments. Hey guys, it's Casey Kiernan, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. Check out the East MVPs up here. I am linking it, or down there in the description. Subscribe to this channel because we're coming out with 5 quality videos Monday through Friday, all dropping at 6 Eastern. Say what's up on Twitter at Casey Kiernan or on IG at AM Hoops. The Dallas Mavericks MVP is Luka Doncic. We know this, but he's also my vote for an actual award this year, Most Improved Player. Now we could rattle off all the amazing stats and all the records that Luka has broken this year, but this one describes his improvement the best. His plus minus has increased from plus 4.2 to plus 11.4. That is the biggest one-year jump ever. The only guy close was LeBron James. Pascal Siakam has slowed down, Devontae Graham and Brandon Ingram are impressive, but Luka is the most improved and the Mavs MVP. The Denver Nuggets MVP is Nikola Jokic, and he might be my favorite guy on this list. First, there's the nickname he doesn't want any of us to know about.
Congratulations, AKA Big Honey.
Oh, no. Big Honey, hey, Big Honey.
So what do you prefer, Joker or Big Honey?
I like Big Honey.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Joker. I'm gonna take Joker. Yeah.
And he puts up great numbers. He is leading Denver in points, assists, and rebounds, and they are second in the West behind the Lakers. Big Honey should have been an MVP candidate for the whole league, but his slow start hurt his case. Why did he start slow? Well, let's just say he was a bit out of shape. In the offseason, this dude just goes back to Serbia and hangs out with his horses. He's lost 25 pounds since the season started. You gotta love this dude.
He made me nervous, but I'm sweating right now because that Big Honey.
The Golden State Warriors MVP is Eric Pascal. In a totally lost year for the Warriors, this is the best thing that has happened for them, finding a legit rotation player and a contributor going forward. Pascal was an early contender for Rookie of the Year, but his shooting has slowed down since. It's actually insane when you're trying to pick Warriors MVP. Like, look at the stat leaders here for Golden State. Traded, new, injured. I thought about giving this spot to Draymond Green, but he's played 10 fewer games than Eric Pascal, and we know what Draymond represents for the future. Finding Pascal is huge for a team as salary cap strapped as Golden State. The Houston Rockets MVP is James Harden. I know earlier I kind of teased it that have you seen what Russell Westbrook has been doing, but I think Russ said it best.
Amazing. I think that a lot of people like to normalize greatness when you see it over and over again.
Yes, we gloss over how great Harden is because it's every night. Look at this chart of every NBA player this year. Left to right represents where they are offensively compared to everyone else. Up and down is them compared defensively. Harden is in his own world offensively, way over here, and he is above average on defense for all the crap he takes. Again, Russ has been good, but Harden is their MVP. The Los Angeles Clippers MVP is Kawhi Leonard. Here's a sneaky storyline. Kawhi is having the best statistical season of his career. And for all the talk about load management, he's only missed 13 games. Kawhi is a beast on defense as usual, and this all makes sense because he's only 28 years old. The prime of his prime. The unfortunate thing for Kawhi, he is his current team's MVP, and he's been his team's MVP for the last few years, from the Raptors going back to the last few years with the Spurs. But I think that Kawhi will go down as the best player ever not to win an actual league MVP. The Los Angeles Lakers MVP is LeBron James. I was just joking, it's not Anthony Davis. Yeah, the Lakers did add AD and they are #1 in the West, but without LeBron, they are a totally different team. LeBron accounts for 61% of the Lakers' points when he's on the court, either scoring or assisting. They outscore opponents by 11 points while he's on the court. When he's off the court, they are outscored by 3. The other day, we got a comment under a video that said, hey, who would you rather have right now, LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard? I gave it some thought. I think my answer is Kawhi Leonard, like in a Game 7, but it is insane that that's even a question for LeBron here in year 17. The Memphis Grizzlies MVP is Ja Morant. Now, I thought about giving this to Jaren Jackson Jr., who is their best three-point shooter, and he's a valuable rim protector, but Morant has been a game changer, not just for the team, but for the whole franchise. His dunks get a lot of headlines, a lot of attention, but Ja has a special feel for the game. When you watch Memphis, his handle is mesmerizing. He moves through traffic. He sees angles for tough passes. And did I mention the dunks? Ja leads the Grizzlies in points and assists per game, and there's an outside chance he leads them to a playoff spot, even though the schedule and key injuries could stop him. The Minnesota Timberwolves MVP is nobody, and they are the only team in the East or West without a single player worthy of MVP. Look, first off, they're just like the Warriors. Injured, traded, new. If there's anyone who should be MVP in Minnesota, it's these poor fans. The Timberwolves have made the playoffs once in 16 seasons. They have the lowest attendance in the entire NBA. Next year, they're gonna offer people 50% off all food and drink, including alcohol, which is almost unheard of in pro sports. Season tickets will start at $23 a game. And I'm not talking for the nosebleeds, $23 for lower bowl seats. Nosebleeds start at $16 per game next year. Seriously, if you're a fan of this team and you still support them, you're the real MVP. The New Orleans Pelicans MVP is Zion Williamson. And you can make a great case for Brandon Ingram, and I know a lot of people in the comments will, but this is what it came down to for me. Who would I rather have in a playoff game or crunch time of a Game 7? It's Zion. He tied Carmelo Anthony last Tuesday after his 9th straight game with at least 20 points as a teenager. By the time you're watching this, he could have broken that record. He's averaging almost 30 points per 36 in his first 13 games in the league. That is the highest of any rookie in NBA history. Pels fans should love Ingram. He kept them alive until Zion got healthy, but now this is Zion's team. The Oklahoma City Thunder's MVP is Chris Paul. The answer to this will be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for years to come, but for now, it's CP3. I was so happy that he became an All-Star for the first time since 2016. And the thing I respect most about Chris Paul is the way he leads this team. He's that wise veteran who could still beat anyone on any given game day. Is he OKC's leading scorer? No, he lets other guys handle that. He's their leading assists per game guy. Chris Paul sets guys up, but if the team needs a lift in a tight game, he is their leading scorer in crunch time. The Phoenix Suns MVP is Devin Booker, and he could lead them to a playoff spot. I said it because no one else is. When everyone else looks at the West standings, they say, okay, it's either the Grizzlies, the Trailblazers, or the Pelicans for that 8th seed. What about the Phoenix Suns? Seriously, they're just 4.5 games back with 23 games to play. Devin Booker was so good this year, he was an All-Star for the first time, even though it was an injury replacement, I get it, but he was the biggest snub. His numbers usually get better after the break, and this year is no exception. Devin Booker is on fire since the All-Star game. He's averaging 31 points on 48, 32, and 89 shooting splits. The Portland Trailblazers MVP is Damian Lillard, but who the hell saw this from the Blazers? I mean, from the Wave and Cold-Blooded Stare, Western Conference Finals, to outside the playoff picture. Now if the Blazers do make it, it'll be on the back of Dame. Even though his team has underperformed, he hasn't sulked or been a diva. He has willed his team to wins. In January, he had that historic streak. He joined James Harden and Kobe as the only players to score at least 293 points in 6 games over the last 2 decades. And I know you're thinking, he's getting paid $196 million. He better play hard every night. But unfortunately, we all know that is not how it always works in pro sports. The Sacramento Kings MVP is De'Aaron Fox, and he could lead them to a playoff spot. Seriously, I mean, Kings fans gave up on that hope before the All-Star break, but now they're just 3.5 games out after winning 7 of 10 games. They have played like a playoff team the last month, and that coincides with their MVP catching fire. His last 20 games, Fox has averaged about 22 points, 7 assists, and 2 steals a game. There's no question, this is his team, and if they shock everyone and make the postseason, Sacramento needs their MVP to keep playing like one and stay healthy. The San Antonio Spurs MVP is DeMar DeRozan, and that's just not good enough. DeRozan has been ripped in the media for not shooting threes, but his numbers are still good. He's the team leader in points and assists per game. He leads them in PER. But this is what a team gets when their MVP plays an old school style and their team defense slacks. The Spurs have made the playoffs every year for 22 straight years. It's a record, but it should end this year, and that falls on the shoulders of their MVP, DeMar DeRozan. And the Utah Jazz MVP is Donovan Mitchell. The case could be made for Rudy Gobert, and some of you in the comments might, but we all know if Spider Mitchell is cooking, the Jazz are too. I mean, we could look at the fact that Gobert was on the team for 3 horrible seasons, missing the playoffs. Spider gets drafted, they made the playoffs every year, but it's about this season. Both Gobert and Mitchell were voted All-Stars this year, but Mitchell is their leading shot taker and the guy that shines in crunch time. Simply put, the playoff potential of the Jazz is squarely on the back of Donovan Mitchell. All right, guys, so that is the MVPs for every single team in the West. Again, comments, who do you agree on, who do you disagree on, make your best case. I'll pin the best comment. And be sure to go check out the Eastern Conference in the link up below or in the description. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.